Who?
Hi, YouTube. Cesar.
Hey, bro, hey, cousin. Hey, Julia.
Hey, bro, hey, cousin. Hey, Julia.
Shout out.
Get your
Raven
shout
in the
out.
corner over there.
Cesar, give you a shout out.
Say hey to YouTube, Raven. Alright, y'all.
Yeah.
Anyway, this video. Shut up, Cesar.
Yeah.
Shut up. Three special guests. These little cockroaches. My little cousin. She need to go to sleep. My little brother. And my other little cousin. Anywho, I found this video called The Truth About Chuck E. Cheese.
No,
I watched
didn't.
it, but I wanted them to watch it and see
No,
their
I did not.
reactions. So let's get it started. This is like a scary type story, so y'all get ready.
Chuck E. Cheese's, known as a place where a kid can be a kid, isn't as innocent as people make it out to be. Sure, it seems like just another arcade place for kids, with a creepy robotic mascot band on a stage, but unfortunately, I got to experience it. I got to experience the truth,
Is this a true
the horrible
story?
truth behind Chuck E.
It made me
Cheese.
think that shouldn't have-
During the summer of 2006, I was about
It
to
might
be a
be,
senior in
I
high
don't
school
really know.
and I needed some extra cash to buy a car, so I decided to look for a job. I searched the newspapers daily for any job openings anywhere, but I found more news stories about missing teenagers than I did job listings.
I used to just go
It was
there
a
and just
strange
start
time.
hitting them.
Only
My parents didn't want me
you.
going out anywhere, and most parents kept their children indoors at all times. It was the sixth missing teenager that month. It was in the paper, on the news, it was everywhere. They all seemed to be either 16 or 17 years old. I came from a small town in Pennsylvania, but these disappearances brought a lot of attention to our town. However, these reports didn't stop me from going out to look for a job. I lived about 10 minutes away walking distance from a big strip mall that had a Chuck E. Cheese in it, and when I was applying to some stores in that strip mall, I noticed that the Chuck E. Cheese had a help wanted sign on the door, so I went in to apply. I asked the employee standing by the entrance for a job application, and without responding, he called for a manager. A man, probably in his late 40s, walked to me and greeted me, immediately asking when I could start. He didn't even interview or talk with me, he just basically offered me the job right away. This shocked me because I had never heard of a job that didn't require some kind of interview. I told him I could start work immediately. The man told me to come back the next day to be trained and to receive the employee uniform. I left the place so excited I didn't even think about how weird it was. I had just gotten a job. Now I could save up for a car before school starts. It wasn't until I got back home that I started to realize how strange it was
Let
that
me
I
tell
was
you about him,
spontaneous.
though. Junior always doing doll babies' heads and stuff.
No, I do not.
He did not. He be
doll.
doing Najee. He did Najee mannequin hair before. My mom was like, "It's okay.
No, I do
He
not.
ain't doing nothing. You used to do it too, nah."
You did.
Even when we caught you, I don't know. It was
I
had to
did
be when I
not
was
used
little.
to braid mannequin.
Dude, I ain't say you used to braid it, but you used to do them. And you did Mary had that day to me some. She needed to fix them when we got out of the shower. He put a whole bunch of her
I
stuff.
put
Her,
a ponytail on her.
let me tell you, he put a whole bunch of that grease stuff in her hair and slicked it back and threw it on.
No, I do not.
That ponytail was straight as can be. And Mary hair don't get straight. That mess was slick back. I
And he
said,
doing her hair for real too.
trying to put doodle balls in that girl.
He offered a job with no interviewing. They basically just hired a complete stranger. How did they know if I was qualified or able to do the job? I imagined that they were just really short-staffed and decided to just be happy I got the job. That night, I did some research on what I would most likely be doing as my job. I found out that most new employees would either rate, I thought. I really didn't want to have to walk around in that thing. I went back then to show me what it was I would be doing, which was cleaning tables, sweeping floors, and cleaning and maintaining the robotic mascots. I was relieved that he didn't mention dressing in the Chucky costume, but I didn't understand what he meant by maintaining the robotic mascots. I asked him what he meant by that, and he explained that sometimes the animatronics get quirky, particularly Chucky. that sometimes, even in their idle states, the animatronics get overheated and need to be cooled down, or they might break or glitch. So my job was to prevent that by spraying the fur of the robots with a bottle containing
Y'all didn't even
some
hear
kind
it.
of liquid, probably water.
Y'all didn't even hear it.
Raven, shut up.
Dressing in the Chucky costume, but I didn't understand what he meant by maintaining the robotic mascots.
Heard that?
I asked him what he
Maintaining
meant
the
by that,
robotic
and
man.
he explained that
Shut up,
sometimes
I'm watching
the animatronics get quirky, particularly Chucky. He explaining some kind of liquid, probably water. Somehow that would cool down the animatronics or something.
This is burning me up.
I didn't kind of liquid, probably water. Somehow that would cool down the animatronics or something.
This is burning me up.
I didn't see how that made sense, but I didn't question it. It seemed easy enough. After showing me all of this, the manager asked me if I was ready to start working today. I was shocked, but I was anxious to make money, so
Mama.
I told him yes. Stage earlier, and cleaning these furry robots seemed easy. I filled a bucket with soapy water and brought some paper towels over to the robots. They all seemed perfectly clean, just like I expected. Why would they get dirty in the first place? But I figured I should just do it anyway. I started with the character all the way on the right, the human one dressed like a chef. I rubbed a damp paper towel around its face, not that it changed much. It looked just as clean afterwards. I repeated this process until I reached the Chucky robot, which was all the way on the left side. This one definitely seemed the most realistic, even to the point where it was really creepy. How could little kids find this shit entertaining? I couldn't understand it. Apart from all the other robots, the Chucky one actually seems pretty dirty, particularly around the mouth. So I scrubbed around the robot's mouth with a damp paper towel. It was weird though, this robot was softer than the others. Just as I finished, the robot turned its head to me and opened its mouth. I jumped back and almost screamed out loud. I walked around to the other side of the robot to see if its head would. To see if its head. It seemed obvious to me right away that the Chucky robot was left on for some reason. I didn't really think much of it after that. After another hour of sitting in that room, I had to resume cleaning up tables and floors while the robots did their show. Besides that, it was a pretty easy and boring night. Eventually, an employee came and told me to go home. I think it was almost 9 o'clock when I left. On my way home, I felt kind of happy. I had found such an easy job so quickly. I didn't mind it at all. Most of the shift I had spent in that room, watching those idle robots. At the end of the night, I fell asleep pretty quickly. But around 3 in the morning, I woke up to the sound of something coming from outside. It was incomprehensible at first, but pretty soon I could make it out to be a very high-pitched, creepy laughter.
The clown.
We lived on a really quiet road, and hardly ever was there somebody walking past our house. I felt a bit unnerved, but I got up to look out my window. I lifted the blinds up and peeked out the window. The streetlight outside provided enough light to see the side of my property along with the street and the woods across the street. I scanned the street looking to find anybody out there, but nobody. Just as I was about to get back in my bed, I noticed something across the street, by the edge of the woods. It was the silhouette of what seemed to be a big man. From where he was standing, the light didn't reveal any of his features. All I could see was the black figure facing my window. I pulled down the blind and jumped back into my bed. I almost wanted to tell my dad about it, but I didn't want to seem like a baby. What kind of fucking creep was standing out there like that? Whatever. They're out there and I'm in here, I thought. I tried to fall asleep, but for a whole hour, all I could think about was the figure I saw outside, and wondering if it was still out there.
They gotta be myself.
I finally got the courage to lift up my blinds and check again.
I'm just saying.
He was gone.
Alright, don't even try to explain. Don't explain
What a
it, not
relief.
explain no more.
pulled the blinds back down, and after that, I fell asleep relatively quickly.
Look.
I was knocking on an actual arm. The robot then turned to face me again. What the hell was up with this shit? This thing was so realistic, I didn't even want to be in that room anymore, let alone for 3 more hours. That night, while laying in bed, I tried to think about other places that I could work. But the thought of the Chucky robot staring at me kept coming up. I don't know why. I mean, it seemed obvious that the robots had advanced interactive technology. It was a little too advanced. That was the last thought I could remember before drifting off to sleep. I woke up at around 3 in the morning again, to the same disturbing laughter coming from outside my window. This time, it was closer, a lot closer. My heart started pounding in my chest. The person I saw last night was back again seemingly to harass me. I had to confront this person, so I got on my feet and put my hand under the blind, gathering the courage to pull it up. With one instant boost of courage, I jerked the blind up to reveal it. It was the face of the Chuck E. Cheese mascot, standing right outside my window, looking right at me, with the same smile I had seen in the Chuck E. Cheeses. I almost jumped out of my skin in fear. I stumbled backward on something on the floor, causing me to fall to the ground, to the place. What the hell is going on here? I thought. I asked a police officer what happened, and he told me that one of the animatronic characters had been stolen from the place the previous night. Who the hell would steal one of these things, and how? I thought to myself. It sure didn't seem like a crime scene to me. It just seemed flat out ridiculous. This whole situation, ever since I started at this job, something has been going on. Something's not right with this place. But I did not want to get to the bottom of it.
I don't remember that one.
I just wanted to get away from it. So much to the point that I started to become paranoid. I started to imagine sounds like some kind of squeaking noise. I started to imagine seeing things. I thought I could see the silhouette of a figure in the opposite corner of my room. I told myself to stop being paranoid and to just go to sleep. Somehow, I did calm myself down a bit, almost enough to finally fall asleep. I was finally relaxed until... What the fuck? Who the hell is calling this late at night? I checked the caller ID. It said unknown number. It said unknown number. To hell, like I was going to answer that. I put my cell phone back on my desk and rolled back onto my side. I put my cell phone back on my desk and rolled back onto my side. I was so close to falling asleep, and now I was wide awake again. I knew I didn't answer the phone because I was partially afraid to. It was probably about a minute or two later when I heard the voicemail tone go off on my phone. The caller had left a message. The caller had left a message. I truthfully did not want to listen to it. I told myself to listen to it first thing in the morning. Sorry, truly, this is nothing personal. You have to understand, we needed you. We needed someone. He's getting hungry. He needs to eat, or else... Listen to me. Listen to me when I tell you your sacrifice will not be forgotten. Understand that we only do this to save humanity. We can't kill it. Our attempts only anger it. If we don't feed it... Oh God. We never planned on it escaping. We needed it to consume only in the room backstage. Oh God, I'm so sorry. What the fuck was that? What? This joke has gone far enough. This is completely fucking insane. It's possible. A few hours later, I walked back to my house, remembering I had dialed 911, so I expected some cops to be there.
It was ready to eat him.
I was right. My dad's car was in the driveway too.
I knew that. Cause the email said.
I explained to them that a man wearing my dad's car was in the driveway too.
I knew that. Cause the email said.
I explained to them that a man wearing a Chuck E. Cheese costume with a knife broke into the house, and he trapped me in my room.
Baby.
So I had to jump out of my window. I explained to them that I had just started working at the Chuck E. Cheese nearby, and that everything was weird from the start there. After that, the creature never returned to my house. I knew something was off with that place from the start. Of course, I had to improvise a bit with my story. I couldn't tell the police that a giant mouse was trying to eat me. But what kills me the most is knowing that the creature is still out there somewhere. And every so often, I wake up in the night, and just barely, I think I can make out the sound of high-pitched laughter coming from the woods.
I was not throwing up dinner signs, by the way.
Well, I've never told this story to anyone before.
Anywho.
Nothing. He just. I was not throwing up dinner signs, by the way.
Well,
Shout out, I keep on sleep. We had you.
He was. He woke
Yeah,
up.
we know
He
Tazai.
woke up.
Anywho, that was an interesting story, but it's
She's
the
like,
end
"What's
now.
up, you woke up?"
Ooh,
She got
what's
it.
that one?
Anywho, that was the end of the story. It was alright.
I didn't really like it.
It was. That's because he didn't get to get into it.
No, I did. Like, it was okay.
Y'all gonna see us talk
like,
through the
out of
whole
a
story.
1 out of a 10,
Bad.
1 to 10,
Bad.
1 to 10, I would rate it like a
Yeah.
4.
I would
Because,
give
like, he
it.
didn't keep the story, like, he didn't keep the reader into it.
He
Like,
didn't
if
get
was a
into it.
book,
I'm telling you.
No,
I
like,
was into it when I watched it by
if
myself.
it was like a
You
book,
tripping.
the reader would lose interest because, like, his wording. Like,
Boy,
the way
no.
he told the story wasn't right.
Anywho, we about to learn to dance. TTYL.